UFC 300. It's been 300 events. I'm almost 100 events as a fan of the numbered ones, at least.
Yeah, we're coming up to our 100 events anniversary,
which we will be celebrating with Dana White himself.
Yes, he's invited us onto the show, looking for a fight.
Yeah, we're going to look for a fight with him, so that's pretty good. You can look forward to that.
Yeah.
I did lose my bet, Tybora Tuivasa. So, yeah, you're getting that shoey.
Yes.
Anyway, on to the 300 card.
The fans haven't forgot about the shoey, Dom.
They've not forgot. I've been hounded in the streets. Wherever I walk is shoey. Give us the shoey. Davison Figueiredo, Cody Garbrandt. Me going first, I'm just going to go straight out with it. I'm going Figueiredo. Cody Garbrandt lost to Rob Font, and he didn't look particularly good in that fight, and Figueiredo beat him in his last fight quite convincingly. I know a lot of people could bring up the fact that Garbrandt did win his last fight by knockout. I think he won his fight before that as well against another non-ranked competitor, but for this moment in time, I think Figueiredo's on a roll, and though Cody Garbrandt is looking good, we're never seeing the old Garbrandt again.
Exactly, as he says. So, yeah, I agree, Figueiredo. As much as I don't like to do MMA math, because, styles make fights, Cody Garbrandt looked just no good at all against Rob Font.
He was just doing that move that he did in the Sun fight where he just back up to the cage and squat down. It's like, you pulled that off. Not a lucky punch, but you pulled it off, well done. It's only been one fight after that. It's like Ipo with the Dempsey roll. It's like, what's coming next?
Yeah, he always, throughout his fights, like kind of living off the fame of the Cruz fight. I think that he, as much as he loves hanging with the boys, I think that he's been hanging with the boys a bit too much. I think Davison Figueiredo is going to. I think Davison Figueiredo is gonna do him
by decision. I think
he finishes him.
You think Figueiredo finishes him?
He finishes him. I don't want him to finish him because I do actually like Cody as much as I meme on him. But yeah, I just see it being a Figueiredo win by stoppage.
I've got it being a 3-round mixed martial arts display.
Nice.
Jim Miller versus Bobby Green. At first, going into this fight, I was very confident with Bobby Green. Looking into it more, I'm a lot more split now. Jim Miller definitely can win this fight. He's done well in his last few fights. Bobby Green hasn't done crazy in his last few fights. I know he's beaten Tony Ferguson. He's beaten he fought against Makhachev. I'm not going to say beat Makhachev. Didn't he get that headbutt?
Yeah, he got that headbutt
on
KO.
Gordon.
Yeah.
Headbutt KO against
It was a really good headbutt, actually.
What a headbutt, yeah. I'm quite torn on this, but I'm leaning towards Bobby Green. I think this fight will mostly take part on the feet. I think Bobby Green's boxing is superior to most fighters, and I think we're going to see him piece him up, and I'm going to say Bobby Green finishes him. Finishes him. Can't predict a round for it.
Okay, good. My prediction, Jim Miller. As much as I prefer Bobby Green in this fight, I think that Bobby Green's a slick striker, very, very good, very solid. Against all logic, I'm going to pick Jim Miller just because it's Jim Miller. I think he's going to win. I think he's going to retire at UFC 300 on a win, ending on a high note. The legend Jim Miller.
That is the outcome I want.
I think is what a lot of us want.
Marina Rodriguez versus Jessica Andrade. This fight, I believe it's even, and
it is even, yeah.
It has every reason to be even. Yeah. Marina Rodriguez has a very shaky record. She dominated, who was it? Big Mac. She beat him quite easily.
Yeah.
But her last fight was against Michelle Waterson, where she stopped her in the second
Michelle
round.
Waterson Gomez.
Gomi, sorry. She beat Gomi.
Gomi.
And stopped her in the second. Andrade.
In a rematch that just did not need to happen.
The least anticipated rematch of all time.
Yeah.
But Andrade, she obviously looked good in her last fight against Stern.
Yeah, she made the jiggle physics enact with Dern as well, which was very nice to see.
Which Charlie was a big fan of. So with Charlie back on board the Andrade hype train, we'll see what happens. But as far as I'm seeing it, Andrade hasn't had the best few fights before that. Dern is a very special case where she can look good in one fight, like she did against Jan, who is the co-main event, but then go in and just look like ass in like her next fight and just lose all of her boxing ability that people thought she gained.
Yeah.
So with that, recognising it's a 3-round fight as well, I'm thinking Marina Rodriguez can do enough to keep Andrade from taking her down. I think she can use her length to keep her at bay, and I think it's maybe a split decision or 29-28, one of those. Yeah. And yeah,
I'm gonna go Marina Rodriguez. Jessica Andrade. The reason I'm not picking Jessica Andrade is because obviously she's a lesbian, isn't she? So,
yeah.
so
well,
she
wouldn't that be in favour of her?
It would when she's fighting someone like Mackenzie Dern, because when she's fighting Mackenzie Dern, she wants to see the jiggle physics in action, so she brings her A game. With someone like Marina Rodriguez, who has got significantly less cake than Mackenzie Dern, she doesn't bring her A game, I've noticed. So I'm gonna also Jessica Andrade. You don't really know what you're gonna get. I suppose you could say that for a lot of women's MMA. Sorry, but yeah, I'm going to go Marina Rodriguez. I think she gets it done by decision.
But we've got probably the guy who's got the weirdest hype train of just being laughed at in Moicano versus Turner. Right, maybe laughed with, but still, then him versus Turner. Moicano has another patchy record again, kind of like Bobby Green, really, where they've just got, I don't know, a bit more of a weird one. Moicano more so, like losing to RDA in the 2020s is a bit
in this decade.
Crazy. Yeah, is a bit crazy in my opinion. However, he did do good against Gamrot. I'm not going to overshadow that, but my prediction, I'm thinking Moicano will get a decision, if not a submission win. Turner isn't bad, but I think he's going to be pretty much a fish out of water with someone of Moicano's calibre on the ground. Moicano is obviously a jiu-jitsu practitioner first, and he's good enough on the feet to get the takedown. Now,
for my pick, I've got to be honest, I'm really not sold on Jalen Turner. I'm not sold on him at all. I don't think he's never really impressed me. I think, I'm really not sold on Jalen Turner. I think he's a bit overhyped. I think that with Big Money Moicano as well, who's got a bit of momentum behind him, I think did he step in on not short notice, but like, wasn't Jalen Turner scheduled to fight someone else, or have I just made that up?
I think there might be something to that. I'll put a bit of research. It should be on the screen. But,
or maybe I've just made it up and I'm a complete doofus. Probably the latter. Both
very plausible.
Both very plausible, yeah. Either way, Big Money Moicano. I can see him winning and then shouting at MMA Guru, telling him to have some respect after the fight. Yeah, Money Moicano by decision.
Diego Lopez, Sadiq Youssef. This fight is on paper kind of close, but in reality I see this being a Diego Lopez domination over 3 rounds. I don't see him get the finish. Youssef is good, but I don't think he's a Diego Lopez good. Lopez, I genuinely see him as like one of the top fighters at featherweight. Youssef losing to an aging Barboza. Who knows, maybe this is the second coming of Barboza, but I don't think so. And that's not giving me a lot of confidence knowing that was his last fight. So, unanimous decision, Diego Lopez.
I think Diego Lopez is my pick as well. Sadiq Youssef, if he were fighting most other people at this calibre, I would probably pick him, because I think that he did, as much as he did lose to Barboza, didn't make a bad account of himself doing it. with Diego Lopez, though, he's just got a lot of momentum behind him. As you can probably tell, there's a pattern here. I genuinely try and pick the people with some good momentum behind them. I don't always go. I know it seems like I always go decision, and you will see later on I am not going for decision for many of these next ones. But this one just so happens to be a decision, in my opinion.
Holly Holm versus Kayla Harrison. Now, I think this is the first time I'm giving a genuine betting tip, but put everything on Holly Holm. The way she's such a huge underdog is baffling. Kayla Harrison in her last fight weighed 150-something pounds. This fight is at bantamweight. Just picture like Max Holloway or someone like that fighting at bantamweight. Like, they would die on the scales. I couldn't see someone who's pretty much a lightweight making it to bantamweight, and I know it's a bit different with women, but I don't see Kayla Harrison looking good. She's fought someone of caliber once. I forgot her name. It's that Bellator woman or PFL or Bellator one who Cyborg's been ducking. You may know I'm a bit retarded, so
that's very apparent, Dom. Yeah,
I don't really remember names. She's got P in the name, and it sounds a bit confusing, so I call her Pinocchio. But she beat her. She lost to her. Then she beat Aspen Ladd, and those are her two biggest names in the sport. I see Holly Holm holding her up against the fence, landed like rah, 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 shots.
Oh my goodness! Wow, it's coming out of Holm right now!
And Holm getting a decision win in which people aren't going to be having a go at Holm too much, but everyone's going to be mad at Kayla Harrison and calling her a joke.
It's Larissa Pacheco, by the way.
Pacheco. I was kind of close to Pinocchio in a way.
You were not far off. No, I can see where the connection was drawn, Dom. Anyway, so yeah, I have no idea why Holly Holm is such an underdog. I think Holly Holm's an underdog because they're like thinking, they're just looking at the two people face on and not even considering the fact that Kayla Harrison is having to cut like 15-20 pounds more than she's ever probably weighed in the last 20 years. I do not see Kayla Harrison making the weight at all. I have no idea why she agreed to it. Well, hey, maybe I'm a moron and she's totally fine with making the weight, but I look at her and she looks bigger than you or me, Dom. Not that me and Dom are the biggest beefcakes in the world.
Yeah, I could see the confusion though.
But yeah, either way, Holly Holm, one of the most boring fighters on the roster, I'd say. But no, I can see her getting it done. Very much. I'm going to be betting a lot of money on Holly Holm. I think that Kayla Harrison, if she does actually survive the weigh-in, then I think that she will look like absolute Skeletor on the weigh-ins. If anybody's seen EPO, there's a few characters in EPO that try and cut too much weight and look like shells of humans. That's what I imagine Kayla Harrison will look like. I'm expecting Holly Holm to have a very tricky first round with Kayla Harrison and then dominate the rest of the fight. Now this is risky here. I'm going to say Holly Holm finishes her.
You go with
I don't think
Kayla's
she
just
does it.
that bad. Looks
Kayla
that bad.
will look like a complete husk of a human and have very little liquid in her brain, so Holly Holm will just stop her. Bear in mind, Holly Holm, I don't think she stopped anyone for years, has she?
No, not to my knowledge. She
no.
got stopped, but
Yeah.
I don't see her stopping anymore.
No, I see Kayla Harrison looking like someone with bad breath could probably knock her out.
But I have put my money where my mouth is. I've put £50 on Holly Holm to win, and I get 216 back for if she does. So, when I give my betting tip, I mean it.
Yeah.
Aljamain Sterling, Calvin Kattar. I think this is going to be kind of like another one of these stories of a fighter moving up in weight kind of thing. I don't know what the statistics are. If someone can find it, please let me know. But I think most of the time it doesn't go well. Kattar's good, and I know that he is like probably close friends, if not he's definitely teammates with Rob Font, who lost to a guy moving up in weight, and that could rub off on Calvin Kattar. It's definitely not a link between them, but it definitely could be a link between them. I don't see Aljamain being particularly strong enough to meaningfully hold down Kattar. Obviously, he's got strength, but this is a much bigger person that he's actually used to fighting. He had some struggle with O'Malley, who's one of the bigger bantamweights. Kattar, this is his first fight back since that. I don't think it was a leg break, I think it was like an ACL tear to Arnold Allen.
Oh, yeah.
It's his first fight back. He might have a few octagon, like ring rust, jitters or whatever. But I see it going talent to talent wise, I think that he can beat him at this high weight class. Aljamain's a bantamweight. I don't think he's going to cut it featherweight. I've got Calvin Klein winning a comfortable. I've got Calvin Klein winning a comfortable 3-round decision.
I have Calvin Klein actually stopping Aljamain Sterling. I have him stopping him in the second round. I think that Aljamain Sterling is used to being the human backpack. He's going to notice that all of his physical advantages that he had, he was a huge bantamweight. He's not going to be a big featherweight. He is going to look quite small in there against Kattar, I think. And I think that Kattar finishes him in the second round. Obviously nowhere near as well as O'Malley did. But I think that he is going to stop him in the second round. He's just going to be Aljamain's not going to be able to have his way with him in the grappling, and Aljamain's striking is good in the first round when he's high volume, but he kind of fades a little bit with his striking after that when he gets figured out, which Calvin Kattar will do. He's got very, very good boxing, and I just see Calvin Klein getting this one done.
Rakic versus Jury. Jury is the underdog, and this isn't a betting tip, but if you want to make a bit of money, put in an ACCA, I think the Jury would be the smart pick. It's a 3-round fight. All Jury's got to do, in a sense, would be walk him down, have heavy pressure, and just steal at least 2 rounds. But I've got I don't really board hype trains too much, but I'm weirdly on a hype train with not a crazy amount of people, and that's the Rakic hype train. I think Rakic will win this by decision. I've got Rakic to win a very close decision. I think it could be one of those that could go either way. He's such a solid and good kickboxer. Jury's a bit more crazy. If it was 5 rounds, I would be having Jury, but I'm just going with Rakic for the sake of bias, and I'm going to be honest with that. This is Rakic's first fight back, once again, like Kattar. It's his first fight back coming off an injury. Jury obviously put up a good performance against Potan, but it didn't go too well. Rakic decision, but if you're betting money and want to try and get a bit off an underdog, Jury would be a good pick.
I'm going to say Jiří Procházka, also for reasons of bias. I love this man. He is incredible. Both of these guys look like they are in incredible shape from what they've been posting on social media recently. They look like they're in the shape of their lives. I think this is going to be a really good fight. I'm very much looking forward to it. Rakic has kind of disappointed me ever since the Smith fight. I think that coming back from the injury that he had, he's going to struggle. And I see Jiří as... I think Jiří's going to win the belt back at some point, I think that Jiří's going to win this one. I'm not sure who else he's going to fight, but I think he may end up, if Pereira's still the champion, I think that Jiří will beat him in a rematch. Jiří learns from his mistakes. We've been reading The Art of War by Sun Tzu every day and the Book of the Five Rings. I think that's going to come in very handy in this fight. I think that Jiří stops him. I'm going to go... I think Jiří stops him in the first round,
That's fair.
I know it's a bit of an audacious pick.
I don't think it is. I think if he does stop him, it would be in the first round,
Yeah.
while Rakic is a bit more ring rust.
Yeah.
But to the main event. I have Bo Nickel to win.
Yeah, Bo Nickel.
Charles Olivera versus Arman Tsarukyan. This fight, is it Tsarukyan's favourite, isn't it?
Tsarukyan's a big favourite.
And I'm going to come out with it right now. Tsarukyan is really good, but people forgot the champion has a name.
Yeah,
the resume that Charles Olivera has is insane.
Yeah.
And I think he proved with Benavidez that Olivera is not gone.
Yeah.
Tsarukyan, he's like a more younger...
Benil Dariush.
Who did I say?
You said Benavidez.
Joseph Benavidez didn't fight him.
Yeah, I know he didn't.
It's not Yushu fought him.
You said Benavidez.
It's not Benavidez, mate.
Yeah, I know. So why'd you say Benavidez?
I didn't say Benavidez.
Oh.
Anyway,
Maybe I'm going crazy.
Someone's dyslexic, I think. Anyway, Tsarukyan did really good against... You nearly had me then with your Benavidez stuff. Against Dariush. Against Benil Dariush. I think he did... He KO'd him first round. Tsarukyan is a top 5 guy. This isn't one of these cases of like the young whippersnapper like Benoit Saint-Denis or Fizzy fighting the staples of the division. No, Tsarukyan is very much that guy. I just don't think he gets it done. I've got Charles Olivera winning by second round finish.
Wow. I think that the thing with these two guys is I want to see Islam rematch both of them, but I also want to see Islam fight Gaethje. I also want to see Islam fight Poirier. I just want to see Islam fight everyone. I'm just so interested to see how he matches up with these guys. I love both of these guys. I think they're both top notch. I'm not going to pick against Charles Olivera. I'm not going to pick against Du Bronx. I just can't bring myself to do it. I am actually... A lot of people don't know this. Even Dom doesn't know this. I actually am Charles Olivera.
No way.
Yeah, he's literally me. He's literally me. I'm going to pick me, Charles Olivera, to win against Arman Tsarukyan by first round KO.
First round KO.
Even although Arman Tsarukyan does look incredible at the minute.
The self-belief in you is very admirable, I would say. Yeah. But moving on to the next fight, in my opinion, out of the whole card, and I'm including the Andrade fight as well, Andrade Rodriguez, this is my least anticipated fight. Justin Gaethje, Max Holloway is... Like, I like gimmick fights quite a lot. Say, a gimmick fight that we all wish could have happened, title or not, Anderson Silva versus GSP in their prime. That would have been great. This, on the other hand, is no one asked for it, no one wanted it. Holloway's moved up to lightweight before, didn't go his way. I don't see how it's going to change now. I've got Justin Gaethje pretty much doing what he did to Tony Ferguson, but to Max Holloway. I think it's going to be a doctor's stoppage, and I think Dana White's going to be heavily criticised. Justin Gaethje's going to call out Islam, and it's going to be such a quote-unquote statement win that the fans are going to be very conflicted of who they want to see to get the next title shot.
I think that you pointing it that way, Justin Gaethje doing what he did, but to what he did to Tony Ferguson, but to Max Holloway, is the perfect way of putting it. I am very open to the fact that I could be wrong here, and I do actually want to be wrong here.
We are matchmakers. I'm assuming, well, I would have assumed if I didn't know the sport, but still, you would assume that they know more than us.
They probably know more than us. Holloway has had more time to adjust to the weight than he did against Poirier, and look at how he did against Poirier. He did pretty good. I think that with Gaethje's a different animal. He is an absolute monster, and anyone who fights Gaethje seems to not quite be the same afterwards, apart from Poirier, who actually came back and beat Benoit Saint-Denis after
one of the most dangerous guys in the division.
Yeah, Justin Gaethje is one of the most dangerous guys in the division. He is a complete monster, but just to put it simply, I think that a lot of people are saying, oh no, this is more competitive than you think. I want it to be. I just really can't see it being that way. I think Gaethje stops him. I think, like you say, Dom, doctor stoppage. I'm going to go 3rd round.
Yeah, that's fair. I can't pick a round because Holloway's just so tough, but
He is tough.
Round 3 up. I don't think it'll be too early. Weili versus Yan. Yan is... I think she's going to be quite overlooked in this fight. I think she does have the talents to pose a problem to Weili, but Weili is such a refined fighter. She's went from just mainly being a striker, but I think the 2 Joanna fights kind of prove how refined she's become. First Joanna fight was just a striking match. The second Joanna fight, Joanna made no improvements. Weili made significant improvements, and we clearly saw that when she was taking her down wrestling. She beat Lemos pretty much on the ground, and I think Zhang Welil is going to win via ground and pound in the first round or 2. Yan didn't do too great against Carla Esparza. I know Esparza's like one of these weird mystery fighters that could never be explained of how she gets wins. But although, like I said, I could see a universe in where Yan poses a problem if maybe the fight remains on the feet. I just think Weili's just so well rounded, so smart. I think Weili is what Valentina thinks she is, and Zhang to win, 1st or 2nd round. TKO.
Weili, 1st round, submission.
All that? Just that?
I've got nothing more to say than that.
Okay. Then, finally, we have the main event. Pereira versus Hill. Hill's been coming out with, maybe he's tried to throw people off, saying a bunch of weird stuff. I think I had a suspicion that he wasn't coming into the fight in the best shape. He seems to have been if anything, confirming that by the language he's been using. I think I saw something about him speaking about moving up to heavyweight, because he's saying that he's quite chonky at the moment. But yeah, I'll just go straight with my prediction. I think Pereira wins in round 1 or 2. I think if Jamal Hill's smart, he wouldn't stay on the feet with Pereira. Prohaska was a bit. I think his unorthodox nature is what kind of threw Pereira off, and I think this is going to be like a Strickland kind of thing, and I think Jamal will be having sweet dreams on Sunday night for us, or Sunday morning for us.
I saw a video recently. I can't remember exactly what. I'm pretty sure the video is Alex Pereira struggling against jabs or straight right hands. I can't remember which one it was. I've got a feeling that Jamal Hill is going to be... He's got the potential to be the kryptonite to Alex Pereira. I do think that...
He's been speaking with Izzy, apparently.
He's been speaking with Izzy?
Yeah, apparently, he said that he's, being, in conversations with Izzy
Right.
and leading up to this fight.
I did not know that. I still think that Pereira gets it done, though. I think this... Pereira is one of my favourite fighters in the UFC. I think that he is one of the best things to happen to the UFC.
Oh, 100%.
In the last few years. What a man this guy is. He's been in the company for barely any time at all, and look at what he's already accomplished.
He's already basically in the history books.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that... you know what? I think if he does win this fight, and he wins it early, he's on about... I'm not sure how serious he's being, but he's on about 301.
Oh, 100%. It's in Brazil. He's definitely serious about that.
Yeah, and then coming back to fight Ankalaev. If he does that, that's crazy.
I don't think it would be Ankalaev. I could see it being a kind of someone like Johnny Walker or something.
Yeah,
someone who's maybe won a few. If you see the main event,
the thing is,
that
he is
far.
actually getting on a little bit. Alex Pereira is. I say that he should retire in his next few fights. What more does he have to prove if he can defend the light heavyweight title?
I think he just loves fighting.
I think he does just love fighting. I just don't want to see him because he is. I'm not sold on his chin really. I think he's a bit chinny.
I don't know. I'll say that's because he was cutting down.
He was
so
cutting
much
a ridiculous
weight,
amount of weight.
I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt for that.
I think he gets it done. I think he finishes. I think this fight is going to be. it's tricky. I don't think it's going to be a bad fight either way. Similar to how the fight against Yuri was like a good fight,
But it's nothing crazy.
It wasn't,
You're not going to rewatch it.
It was interesting. It was a really interesting fight. It wasn't the barn burner that we all thought it would be, but it was still
didn't
really.
Have to be, yeah.
It didn't have to be. No, it was a really interesting fight. I think it's going to be similar with this one, and I think that Pereira finishes Hill in the second round.
Second round, yeah.
Or the second round finish for a prediction, I do.
Before we truly wrap up, I'm going to have one more prediction. Fight of the night. What do you think it's going to be?
Very good.
Personally, with me, since I'm asking, I've thought this one. I thought this one over a little bit, and I'm going with Yuri versus Rakic. I think that one's going to be fight of the night.
Yeah, I think I alluded to it earlier on. I think this is going to be a barn, but Yuri's never in a bad fight.
Oh yeah,
never in a bad. Even the Pereira one was a good one. Yeah, I agree with you, Dom. I think that one's going to be fight of the night. And if that one doesn't get fight of the night, I think that, kind of contradicting what I said earlier, Gaethje's never in a bad fight either. I can see that if Max ends up proving us wrong, I think that that one could very well end up being a crazy fight as well. The main event could be... Du Bronx is... one of the most exciting guys on the rosters. It's really tough to pick what fight of the night could be on this one. You're spoiled for choice.
One more thing, I promise. I'm going to build you lot a little lacquer just so you can get this worst MMA picks look that seems to be going around a little bit. The first person you should be picking is Holm. Then you should pick Justin Gaethje and Zhang Welil. And Bo Nickel, just throw him in, why not? As long as he doesn't hinder your bet. Yeah. But I think that's a smart bet, and I think depending on how much you put on, you could earn quite a bit back. Right, and yeah, like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. And
of course
want to
they
see
enjoyed
more.
it, Dom.
Obviously they enjoyed it. I know.
I think they've all watched from the start up until here. No one would have clicked off the video.
Oh, I think some people might be a bit forgetful. I'm just going to throw that out there. I'm not going to be one of these people who bring up the statistics and tell you off, but next video you might have a graph up.
90% of you aren't subscribed.
Why aren't you subscribing?
Subscribe right now.
Why don't you like my shit videos?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. Do whatever you want, I guess. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you.